Members, I'm going to call a 20-minute recess.
Why do you lie? Why do you lie? Why do you lie? Chief Diaz, we've been trying to meet with you. You have yet to meet with us. Why do you lie? Why do you all lie? No, it's not respectable. Why do you lie? This child is autistic.
For 20 minutes to review in the conference. Recess.
The proper care that it deserves.
And recess.
Because of failing administrations at the federal, county, and different levels. Don't lie, Whitmire. Don't lie, Diaz. Do not lie. Good afternoon, Council, Mayor. We are here with Emmanuel Gonzalez's mom. Emmanuel Gonzalez is an autistic 15-year-old that went missing in Northwest Houston last Saturday, October 4th. Mom began looking for him and really quickly contacted the Houston Police Department to file a missing persons report. We had been looking for Emmanuel for 8 days as of Friday, all to get a call from a detective from HPD saying that Emmanuel had been turned over to federal authorities under the Organization of Refugee and Resettlement, Office of Refugee Resettlement. So instead of looking for the missing persons report, instead of trying to find his mom, because Emmanuel is not an unaccompanied youth, his mom is right here. Your office, your department, your police department, Mayor Whitmire, decided to call ICE. Instead of just making the call to the missing persons report, instead of issuing an Amber Alert, what is it going to be? Are you going to bow down to Donald Trump and continue to work with ICE? Or are you going to stand up and show true leadership and protect Houstonians? We just got a call because Emmanuel went into emergency surgery for appendicitis.
Your time has expired.
And he is now under ORR custody again.
Thank you.
Look at her in the eye. Tell her you did this.
Councilmember Huffman.
Thank you, Mayor. And I have children myself, and so if any of my kids went missing, I can't imagine what that feels like. Although I feel like you're being a little disingenuous when you're saying the facts here.
No, there's no disingenuity.
When he was reported missing, the name that was put into the system didn't necessarily match the name when they found her son.
That's a first mistake by HPD. Strike one.
So the names didn't match up. It didn't come up. It's not like they found this kid and immediately took him to the Office of Refugee Settlement.
Okay.
And so that didn't click. I believe that when the Human and the Health and Human Services Department got involved, they too looked through the missing people's reports and still didn't make the connection.
Was it missing a picture?
And so
was there not a picture there?
It wasn't necessarily that HPD found this kid and immediately didn't try to reconnect him with his mother. That would always be the first step. Thank you.
You need to talk to HPD and everybody involved, because HPD said it themselves that they called federal authorities on this unaccompanied minor.
They
and
did when they couldn't identify him.
They also said that they talked to him for 4 hours, and he's nonverbal.
Sir, you've done a good job. Let the council member speak.
I just don't like lies.
I understand. I understand.
I don't like lies.
Well, I don't either, and so that's why I'm trying to put it out here. They didn't say that they talked to him for 4 hours. They said that they spent 4 hours tracking down leads, watching body camera, all sorts of things. Officers did talk to her son for a long time.
He can't talk. How can they talk to him for 4 hours?
Okay, we're not going to be successful if you don't allow her to do her role, and then you can have your role. So
I'm just saying that we want everyone to have the full picture. HPD didn't find this kid and turn him over to ICE. That's not how it went down. So I just wanted to put that on the record. Thank you.
Members, another thing heavy on my heart, and has my full attention, is a report that we heard on the young man yesterday afternoon. The version we heard would upset anyone. And I've been wanting to say this to you for probably since I got here. there's always the rest of the story. We have such a tendency to want to believe individuals in their cause. But I knew better. It's so frustrating to sit here when I have the data, even some of you have the information, and know that someone, for political purposes and building a following, stands there and tells us something that they know is not true. It inflames the community, violates the unity that I stand for. It increases the paranoia, the anxiety of our immigrant community. Boy, I could unload. To use a crying mother who has extreme exposure, and I won't go into her status, for political gain, and then leave here after misrepresenting a fine police department, then I'm going to ask each of you to look at the tape. A department that treated him like their son, their child. He could communicate. He wasn't a small child. He's got tremendous problems. But to misrepresent how he was treated and handled, you never heard them mention the CPS, did you? Who our fine department approached first, and then the resettlement department. They're compassionate police officers speaking the young man's native language. Worked with him for 4 hours. I asked the police chief to come here today, and I don't want to speak for him, but it is so disgusting on such an emotional, serious issue that we're handling smarter than any major city in America. The way HPD handled this young man should become the model for the United States. And it's all documented. The Mayor Pro Tem and I saw it this morning. And then to leave here after inflaming things and jeopardizing the mother and the young man, quite frankly. He's in the hospital for appendicitis. Being given the same care that we would any Houstonian. And then leave and go on the steps of City Hall and have a political campaign for a candidate for city council. So mishandled, because it just feeds into my belief there's always the rest of the story. And it's not just on this issue, it's infrastructure issues. I think some way we've got to be able to hold folks accountable. In the legislature, you swear that you're telling the truth. But anyway, we'll discuss how we hold people and put them on notice that we want the facts. But the sad news is this is such a current issue and so inflammatory that we have someone building a following, helping a candidate, and attacking some of us. With that said, I've asked the police chief, who I am so proud of, I know how responsible and smart and compassionate they're dealing with the immigration issue. Same thing we said in January. We're not immigration, we're not ICE. We're enforcing state and city laws. I've asked him to come give us an accurate account of the young man's tragic life. And Chief, we can either let you address it or I can recess for 20 minutes to allow my colleagues to look at your tape. And I can't say enough to you publicly. I don't know if the media will report it, but you're one fine, honorable police chief, a man of faith, a father, and what you're going to document for the members should be the national model for dealing with a very, very delicate subject. Would you like to show it to the members and then you can describe, or you want to tell them what they're going to see? Maybe that would even be a good order.
I'll tell them and then show them our video.
Yeah, why don't you? Because I know your passion, your emotion, and also know your facts. So why don't you describe, because I asked you to come here today because I had been told the speaker was totally misrepresenting this fine department in this great city. So I yield to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Council, thank you for all that you do. Oh, sorry. Thank you for all that you do for this great city. Your decisions here are very important to us because we work collectively with each of your districts. Every single day, this office has boots on the ground serving the people that you represent. Day shift, evening shift, night shift, holidays, storms, the Houston Police Department is here to go to work. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what transpired, and then I'll show you, as council members, council persons, the actual video. So just bear with me. I'm going to give you a timeline of what actually happened. The Houston Police Department responded to a call for service regarding a missing person juvenile in the 3900 block of Hollister Street in Houston, Texas. On Saturday, October 4th, we were dispatched at 8:51 p.m. Units arrived at 8:56 p.m. because of the importance of a missing kid. The report is 1301943-25. It's an original missing person report. The reportee, Maria Araceli Garcia Candia, the mother of the young man that we're discussing, informed officers that her son, Emmanuel Gonzalez Garcia, was last seen at approximately 3 p.m. So you can gauge the hours when she decided to call us. At the intersection of Clay Road and Hempstead Road. She advised officers that Emmanuel had wandered off in the past and was recovered by HPD. The reporting made statements that Emmanuel did not take medication, but was special needs and perhaps autistic. Because of this statement, the Missing Persons Unit deployed detectives from their homes to the actual location. The lady provided the photo. The members of the Houston Police Department are the ones that generated that missing person photo for the mother. The Missing Persons Bureau, our Patrol Bureau, went around the area, posting the flyers, knocking on doors, trying to find this young man. With no success. Again, he had a head start from 3 p.m. to 8:45 when Mom called us. The missing person detectives responded to the scene at around 10:30 and assumed the entire responsibility of the investigation. They met the reportee at the scene, searched the area, and placed flyers at close to a dozen nearby locations. This research also included available databases for us that included locating and reviewing several previous HPD reports involving Emmanuel. This included one runaway report in 2024 and 2 missing persons report in April and May of this year. Although the mother stated in this incident that Emmanuel was autistic, detectives reviewed the prior incidents and identified Emmanuel as not being autistic with any medical or cognitive issues. Emmanuel was able to articulate himself well and clearly and was able to function as a normal person. Furthermore, the mother could not produce any medical records or documentation of a treating physician to confirm his diagnosis of special needs. Fast forward, the Houston Police Department, 10 miles away on Airline, on Sunday, October the 5th at 4:30 p.m., we get a meet the firefighter call at a McDonald's. HFD located a 15-year-old juvenile who claimed to be homeless from another country, had no parents or family in the area, and could not provide contact information for anyone. Officers worked for 4 hours. A supervisor, 4 patrol cars. We reviewed the body cam footage. These young men and women were pulling our general orders, our processes, to make sure that they did it right. Once we were not able to confirm the identity provided by the juvenile on scene and to find an acceptable party to leave them with for their safety, after exhausting all options, we contacted CPS locally, and CPS told us, since the young man has told you that he has no parents here, we can't hold someone that is not from here indefinitely. That's the rule at CPS. They referred us to the Department of Health and Human Services or the Office of Refugee Resettlement. HPD patrol officers arrived at 4:43 p.m. and released the young man after hours, after fingerprinting him, after giving him care, after talking through his processes, what we believed we needed to identify him. At 8:45 p.m., because of the federal situation, they didn't have an acceptable means of transportation to take him to the facility, so HPD took him to the facility. At 8:45, he was released to the Office of Refugee Resettlement. On October 10, 2025, at 10:27 a.m., juvenile intake received a phone call from a female caller, Alexa Sandukas, who was an ad litem representative for the kid, stating she is an attorney for the Office of Refugee Resettlement and representing Emmanuel in the facility. The attorney informed us that Emmanuel did not want his mother to know where he was. So the attorney did not advise the mother of Emmanuel being in custody. Intake officers notified Detective De Leon of the findings. We, the Houston Police Department, decided, no, mom's got to know where the young man is because she's concerned. So we notify the mother of where Emmanuel is being cared for. Detective De Leon noted that Emmanuel was inside the Office of Refugee Resettlement and communicated the information with the mother. However, he gave us a different name, and it didn't hit on any of our systems. Soundex, it didn't hit. This all occurred at approximately 11 a.m. The press conference that the mayor referred to was in progress at the same time. Detectives notified the mother that Emmanuel was located shortly after their press conference. She was thankful, and detectives connected her to the Office of Refugee Resettlement. Neither HPD or the Office of Refugee Resettlement received a missing persons hit when they ran the name provided by the missing juvenile. So that's actually what happened, and that's where we're at today. While in the care of the facility, the young man has a medical episode, and they have medical staff at that facility. And they made the determination that he needed to go to the hospital to have an appendectomy. And they took him to Texas Children's just like they would have taken my son. And he was cared for. Their status in this country is none of our responsibility at the Houston Police Department. We're here to serve. No one at the Houston Police Department denied any services to the mother when she called initially. In fact, we sent 10 units to help her to find the missing kid. So this is where we're at. We're not here to get likes or applause. We're here to tell the truth and make sure that this office, that the men and women that I represent, that I work for, are doing their very best under some extremely difficult circumstances in our community. That's the truth. And we did our very best with the resources and the information that the child had given us, and I'll let you see the video of the child communicating with us. So thank you for your time, Mary. If you have any other questions, I'd prefer that you look at the video yourself. That way you see it, and you're not taking it from me, you're taking it from the young man's mouth. So thank you for your audience, and thank you for the tremendous, terrific job that you do for the great city of Houston. Thank you.
Thank you, Noe. Before we review
To what they're
tape,
saying as well. I don't expect that we have you showing up every council meeting to do these kind of debriefs. But the priority should be the safety of everyone, and I know that y'all are doing that as well. Just want to say thank you to the officers that were there. Thank you for your work. I appreciate Councilmember Peck. Continue to follow up, and I'm here to also be supportive in whatever way I can. So.
Councilor, we don't live in the shadows. This office is community facing. We're at every meeting that you have. We show up. I show up, and the mayor won't admit it, but sometimes it's a 7-day-a-week job, and it's a grind, right? But because it's passion-driven, we want to be responsive to the community and solution-driven, not tell people half-truths. The truth is this is the times that we're in, and the truth is that this office has to follow the law, and we'll continue to follow the law. So I appreciate the connection that we have, because it is a difficult time, a different time, and this isn't going to go away anytime soon, right? So we are focused as an organization to provide the very best services. We track twice a week in the office with these concerns. It takes up a lot of time for us because it's important. It's important to the good pastor. It's important to the mayor, obviously, who is out with us a lot. And it's important to you, to your family, my family. It's very important that we as an organization get it right and do our very best to make sure that the community, I can assure you people are still calling us. This lady is a perfect example. She called us, we responded. You know, so, and that's happening all over the community every single day. And if you don't know, I'm sure you do, this community speaks 80 different languages. Right? So that it's not just Spanish speaking people that are going through these stresses. It's everywhere in our community, in different languages. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for all you do for us.
Thank you for your comments. The chief's correct. We visit each and every day to be transparent. When we do the after-hour club surges where there's human trafficking, drugs, abusing the immigrant community, when Undercover makes the contact and we go in and there are a large number of immigrants, HPD is not concerned. That's not their job. They're after the drugs and human trafficking victims, and they do their job, as we've stated, since the Washington issues developed. We're enforcing state and city laws. Domestic abuse cases, we encourage people to call HPD, and we're not there to enforce immigration. Now, let me quickly say we have to be smart. Even having this conversation, because it cannot appear that we're not following best policies. But the reason and it may become a common occurrence to have the chief come clear up obvious, direct, misleading information. And it's unbelievable that they would expose this mother who has issues of her own. It's just dumb to do what was done yesterday, to try to build some kind of movement, which we're actually trying to be respectful of and keep the lid on. So these are challenging times. We know people are scared. The anxiety is terrible.
Bless you.
But you're not going to get there by playing politics with it or inflaming the community. Wait till you see this tape. It's the way you'd want them to treat your son. So anyway, It just really is disgusting while we're trying and are doing the right thing that we've got disruptors in the community with a separate agenda. Councilmember Carter.
Thank you, Mayor. Chief, I just wanted to say thank you. And, I have such great respect for law enforcement and what you guys do every day. I truly can't imagine. I think that certainly to be too fearful to call and your child is missing for several hours, and if fear keeps you from calling, that's one thing. But yet to be made secure enough by your own community member to come in front of council and, yesterday he was verbal, nonverbal, they went back and forth. I mean, that was clear in the conversation. And the real crime here is what was done to that mother and that child in front of us yesterday. And God bless you for the work that you all do out there on the streets every day. And to come here to explain something to this level and in this time that we've bantered back and forth, with what was done and what was not. You do your job and you do it well, and so do the men and women who work for you. And God bless you for what you do every day to keep this entire community safe and to deal with everyone respectfully and in the way that they should be, and that you would want your own family and I would want mine to be treated. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. It's something that we push every day from Travis to Wilcrest, right? So the kids, the people that we serve are getting the very best out of our young people doing this job without judgment of the community and without bias. We're here to follow the law and take care of the community who takes care of us.
Councilmember Jackson.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. And thank you, Mayor, for allowing Chief to come in and explain the situation. Thank you, Chief, for the explanation. But I really want to look at the video. Just listening to Vice Mayor Pro Tem, she mentioned the name, and she said his name was Manuel. And my dad's name is Emmanuel, and so, just doing a different search, especially when it's a kid that you have in custody or a kid that is missing, I just thought, think that would be, we could have looked a little bit further.
It sounds simple. We're in a vast city.
Yeah. And so I really would like to see the video if that would be great.
That's why we brought it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember, for your time.
Very good. Members, I'm going to call a 20-minute recess.
Why do you lie? Why do you lie? Why do you lie? Chief Diaz, we've been trying to meet with you. You have yet to meet with us. Why do you lie? Why do you all lie? No, it's not respectable. Why do you lie? This child is autistic.
For 20 minutes to review in the conference. Recess.
Not the proper care that it deserves.
Recess.
Because of failing administrations at the federal, county, and different levels.